volume. Okay, it's up. And let's holster you in the holster because this is always a pain in the butt. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's try this on a better note. Whoa. Okay, let's zoom out because that was not cute. Okay. Um, extra close for the pimples. For all the flaws because we know we all got some. Okay. Okay. I'm going to turn down my child because we definitely don't want to get demonetized. Okay. Now.
What?
I'm doing a video. Oh, me daughter.
Hi, Mama.
Hey, baby. First off, let me start off by saying my hair looks wonderful. I just woke up. My sleep patterns are just everywhere. Um, first off, let me start off by saying I'm sorry for the first prior video to this. Uh, let's just say it was supposed to go much differently than it did, but I'm gonna leave it there because it's, you know, for people that go through a lot of the same issues like I do. I'm probably not the only. Well, hang on, let me try to get my TV stick thingy here. Let's see if it stays like this. I'll try to hold it while my cat sits on me. I have my Spitfire on my lap. Um, let's see. Hey Nubis. Um, um, which I'll explain further. What I'm going to talk about is just I'm taking a moment to gather my thoughts. It is difficult, guys. Can you hand me my computer because I'm going to probably pull up some definitions too. Can you hand me my computer, sweetheart?
Right here.
Yeah. Can you bring it to mommy?
Yes.
I would use it.
I had it on the charger.
I was like, would the tablet be quicker or?
Tablet.
Can I borrow the tablet? So I just need to pull up definitions real quick to read it because.
Oh shit! Someone put their foot on it.
Xander. Anyway,
Yeah, I got two browsers you can choose from.
okay, cool. Indolore. Baby Yoda.
Yes.
Baby Yoda.
That design is going on a shirt.
Baby Yoda.
There's that one, and then there's that one.
Okay.
A new tab always opens when you're looking for something. Yeah, like that's okay.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. Pulled up one definition already. Okay, now, I know it's probably no big fact or big surprise that I have depression or um, anxiety, which I've mentioned it before. I also suffer with PTSD. I also have manic depression. Um, I suffer with a sort of variety of different things in my life. A lot of them that are going to go unresolved for the rest of my life because um, certain individuals I'm never going to get to resolve said issues. And it's just something I'm going to just have to let sit. It's not going to fester. It's just going to be a painful dictation that I'm just going to have to sit there and it's going to have to be a painful thing that I'm going to have to sit there and think about for the rest of my life, like why it had to go that way. And it's more of a painful thing that echoes in my head of this is why I tell people that, you know, like that's why I say take accountability. It's like I should have took accountability sooner myself because if I would have taken accountability much sooner, I might not be suffering as bad as I am. My depression might not have been as bad as it is. My anxiety might not be bad as it is. My PTSD might not be here. The sadness might not be as overburdened as it is. Because I wouldn't have maybe had someone stuck around me as long, like a cancer. I made excuses to allow this person to stay in my life for as long as I did. And I did make excuses for this person. And, I could have let this person go much longer, like long ago. I held on to this person because I love them. And yeah, it's a parent. Because honestly, it's the only parent I had left. And I'm being for real right now. And this is something I'm going to have to go to counseling for. I've mentioned before. And the reason why it really blew up today, um, in a group that I shared with them, they had been going on there saying really horrible things about my family, my future daughter in law, my kids, and it really got to me. Now, I know it's just words, it's just bottomless threats, but it gets to you. And I know I shouldn't be letting foolishly, like, things like that bother me, but I've had things like this done to me all my life. And you hate history repeating itself. It's kind of like you would think these people being much older than you, that they would be more mature, that they would grow up, that they would be like, let's break the cycle, let's be better, because I was setting boundaries, I was setting limits for myself, and, I was like, things should be better. They should not be like this. They should not be volatile. They should not be this ugly. They should not be this heinous. This should not be happening. And I was made out to be the bad guy because I was wanting peace. I was wanting tranquility. Yeah, and I was wanting better things for my family, and I was wanting a peaceful existence. And it, it bothers me that just because you're wanting happiness, it's a bad quality. And I'm just in there scratching my head because I was wanting a calm existence in my home to get my flow back to where I could get out of my depression, because my depression was at an all-time low, and it still is, to where it was hard for me to get up to clean my home. It was hard for me to get up to do my own dishes where my kids are helping me do stuff. And I mean, it's so bad that my depression is so bad. I hurt from head to toe, which I have chronic pain anyway, but my depression has got my pain so bad that I sleep a lot. And my pain, it's like I toss and turn even when I'm sleeping because I'm in so much pain. So it's like, I don't know if I want to sleep. I don't know. It's hard to tell what you want to do. And this is why I said if I'd have took much more accountability even for myself and stopped making excuses and trying to soften the blow for an adult, and had them take responsibility for themselves and be like, you know what, you made a foolish decision to get involved with someone that was not a good person, and you got with them thinking their family was well off and you were going to get a piece of that, and you thought that, hey, I'm going to finally get a piece of, I'm going to be on the high rise, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and that's why you got with them. And then you found out that life wasn't going to be so grand, and then you're just like, oh shit, what am I going to do? This person's a psycho. And you finally found out that everything that your kid was trying to tell you was true. And then this guy turned out to be a rapist and a molestist. And, we found out that he was even raping kids down the street from us. I mean, he raped neighbors. I mean, these kids were idiots anyway, but it's not the point. He raped my grandmother. He raped my kids, molested me. I'm glad my future daughter-in-law wasn't around because he probably would have tried to hurt her. And then Oh, I know. But I mean, these are just, things that torment me. And it's like, and I tried to bring a lot of this up and it didn't matter. Things got, at first was trying to be pushed off on my husband. And I'm not trying to hash and play the blame game. I tried to leave a lot and I got threatened. If I led, CPS would be involved. And at that time, I was scared because I was unsure if I was a good parent. And I should not have doubted my gifts as a parent. That was the only thing that they could hold over my head, was being unsure of my parenting skills, because I was a first time parent at that time. I just had Adrian, and my husband at the time was telling me, you shouldn't doubt your gift. You're a good mom. You're doing well. Let's just take Adrian and go. You need to get away from here. And I'm like, yeah, I should. And I don't know why she was clenching on to me so hard. It's like, if you're not happy with your life, why don't you just leave yourself? It's like, take your stuff and go. And I got her away from him, and then she went crawling right back to him because she wanted money. But it's like, you can't have your cake and your ice cream too. It's like, you need to decide what life you wanted. And it's like, I've told her more times than once, I don't have her belongings. And yet she keeps thinking I'm going to pay for her stuff to replace it. It's like, no, I'm not. Legally, by state statutes, I've asked the police, I've asked a judge. They told me I did everything legally, and she's harassing me about that. And I don't want no one harassing her. Guys, please do not bother this woman. Leave her alone. I don't want no one sticking up for me. I'm capable of standing up for myself, okay? She's had people attack me. I don't appreciate it. I don't want no one standing up for me. Okay? I don't want someone thinking that they need to stand up for my own battles. I can stand up for my own battles. Okay? I'm not a coward, and I can fight my own stances. Okay? I really can. I have a big enough mouth. I'm a mouth of the South, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully, but I take accountability for myself. And like I said in her group today, I apologize, and I don't even know why I had to apologize. But if they think that they need to take their pound of flesh, they could take their pound of flesh from me, but they need to leave my family alone. Because I'm sick of my innocent family being dragged through the dirt and through the mud, and my family hasn't done nothing. And she was actually attacking my daughter-in-law, she was attacking my sons, she was attacking my husband, and it's like, she needs to leave everybody alone. And I'm really tired of it. It's like, over materialistic things that don't matter. These things were actually the reason why we were trapped in that house. We could never really leave, because I kept telling her, why don't we move? Why don't we get away from him? Why don't we leave? Oh, my things, my things, my things. That's why we were trapped there, was her shit. And that's why my kids got raped. That's why I got molested. And that's why my grandma got raped. And I'm sitting here just like, I was glad throwing all that shit outside, because it's like, it was finally shedding a layer of things that caused me physical harm, caused my kids physical harm. It actually felt good getting rid of a lot, literally all of it. Like the things that I do have that she gave me had nothing to do with it, like a freezer, a fucking stove, a fireplace, which, that really had much of nothing to do with it. So, like I said, I only have a few items, and that's stuff that she gave me. So she, no, those things she's not getting back, because that was given to me. And I have my grandmother's things. That's it. And I want it to be left alone, and I'm tired of the harassment. Now, the reason why I'm saying taking accountability is because people always like playing the blame game, and this is not the definition of accountability, because people evidently don't know the definition. Phone technical difficulty. It says the fact or condition of being accountable, responsibility. Their lack of accountability has corroded public respect. And it says responsibility, liability, answerability, answerability, reporting, obedience. That's one. And it says, what does accountability mean? Let's click that. Accountability is a assurance that an individual or organization is evaluated on its performance or behavior related to something for which it is responsible. The term is related to responsibility but is regarded more from the perspective of oversight. Now, if that's too hard to swallow, that means taking accountability for your actions. And that means, like like I said earlier, I, you know, like for the longest, for my alcoholism, she tried to blame my ex best friend. Now, y'all saw my shoes in the background. Um, now, I kept telling her that had nothing to do with my friend. I went out on my own. Now, if everybody knew why I was drinking, they would probably be upset. It had nothing to do with what was going on in my life in my home situation. It had to do way from my home away from home because of all the crap that her ex-husband was telling me, him telling me how much she hated me, how much shit she was talking about me, how much she wanted to be away from me. She didn't know all the shit that he was telling me. And then her sitting there telling me all the for me's, and I wanted to quit working carpet cleaning all the time. And I just wanted to be away from her ex. I actually wanted to be away from her. I was tired of everything I had to go through because I was not happy. I was miserable. And literally every time I would go carpet clean, I would use all that carpet cleaning money to go drinking. And she had the nerve to sit there and try to tell me I didn't need to be out drinking. And it's like, I actually lived a very overprotective life. And she said I didn't. Well, I mind you, no one sits there and thinks my kids do not behave anything like I did. Ever. My kids, either one, have never been in gangs. Neither one of my children have ever ran away from home. Neither one of my children have never snuck out at night. Neither one of my children have ever been in trouble with the law. Yeah, I've been in trouble with the law a little bit here and there. I acted out. Okay? And people are going to be like, why were you such a troubled child? I acted out very badly. I was a troubled youth. I was crying out for help because I had a very neglectful mother. Very neglectful. I had a mother that did not want to take accountability. I had a mother that did not want her job as a mother, that said she wanted to be my mother, but said very hurtful, very ugly things to me. And this is not that it's bash my mother hour. No, it's not. I'm not bashing her no more. This is not about me tearing her down. No, I'm done. It's not, I'm telling y'all what's happened to me and the difference between parenting so y'all can understand the role differences and the difference it makes in a child's life. You don't have to beat the shit out of a kid to make a difference in a child's life. You don't have to abuse a kid because it goes to show I have been in my kid's life. I have made a difference in my kid's life. I put time in my children's life. And the moment I started getting taken away and having to babysit my grandmother all the freaking time is when my kids started acting different. They were getting annoyed. They were like, "Can you stay home with us?" I'm like, "Why don't you ask your grandmother that? Tell her to put your great grandma in a nursing home." Because it was getting taxing. Because only reason why she wanted her there was for money. No other reason. She wasn't doing it because she loved her mother. She wasn't doing it because she wanted to honor her father's wishes or anything else. She was doing it, one, out of guilt because she didn't want her sisters to bitch at her. Secondly, she also was doing it because she wanted the money because she couldn't afford to live in the home she was buying. So she was using her mom's money to help buy the home she was buying. Yeah, really good ethic. I would never do that to my mother. I evicted my mother. One, she could not pay her bills here. She agreed to help pay rent when we lived together. Even in the home that she was currently buying, if we moved in with her, she would always help pay bills. That was the agreed arrangement. I even told her at first, you don't have to pay, but she goes, no, Tabitha, I want to help pay because I want to feel like I'm contributing. I'm like, okay, fine. She was supposed to pay her car. She couldn't pay for her car. We sent it back. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I don't like your car. I was you and his. I don't want it. I'm getting us another vehicle. I don't want that piece of shit. It's tore up. No. She couldn't really drive. She's gotten in multiple accidents. She couldn't fucking see. She couldn't drive anyway. She couldn't even see on her side of the lane. Her doctors even said she had no business driving because not only because of her diabetes, the open heart surgery, she has a lot of health ailments. And she sits here and makes up excuses. I don't give a flying flip. Okay, it's what her doctor said. Multiple doctors said it. I don't care. She wants to sit here and argue tens to facts. I don't give a shit anymore. Okay, it's in the past. I don't care. Um, Fact of the being is she started getting very bad sick, and she's not realizing that her health illness, it got worse. Okay, and the reason why I was trying to get her tested, where she didn't understand, I wasn't necessarily trying to get her put in the nursing home right away. I was trying to, one, get her tested to see how far the illness was at first. Because if it wasn't severe, I was like, okay, we can know where to put you at when you go into the assisted living so they can watch you better. Let me take a drink, y'all. That was her taking accountability for her health. First step. She didn't take accountability for her health. Because one, I was asking her to do it to see, as I said earlier in the video, if there was something genetic. Because she was showing symptoms that were identical to my grandmother. So was her older sister. Her older sister is 300 something plus miles away from us. Okay, they're not even in the same zip code range, so they shouldn't be acting nothing like each other because they're not even around each other.
No.
Damien, Caspian, Diablo Cantu. No, being crazy. I have a crazy grandchild. But anyway, yes, he's a pirate and he's trying to be crazy. I have a crazy grandchild. Anyway, her sister's just as Looney Tuned as she is. I only have one aunt, and she's kind of like in the middle of all the age groups that seems to have her brains in the right age, that she's not completely lost her mind, but they all make fun of her because of the things that she says. But actually, she's just eccentric. And that's my Aunt Donna. And I have no problems with my Aunt Donna. My Aunt Donna is actually pretty cool. She's actually the only one that seems to have her ducks in a row. The rest of them are all batty. My Aunt Nina was batty, my Aunt Lola is batty, my Aunt Anna is batty, and my mom is batty. And the bad thing is, all of them have used excessive drugs. They've all excessively drank. They've all smoked cigarettes. So they've all put extensive strain on their hearts, their brain. They've done neurological damage to their mind, worse than anything that my grandmother had ever done impaired. So they impaired their health, you know, existentially compared to what my grandmother did. And my grandmother did impair her health actually, because my grandmother was a pill popper. And that's something that a lot of my aunts and my mother forgot to take into accordance. My grandmother loved popping volumes, uppers and downers, which they all completely forgot. My grandmother liked abusing barbiturates. She used to take my grandpa's pills quite often. I remember it because I used to remember watching her take a lot of my grandpa's pain medicine, because my grandpa having shrapnel in his back, he had a lot of great pain, a lot of great suffering. And my grandpa, of course, could not get x-rays. And my grandpa could not really get, you know, any operations. A lot of shrapnel had melted, I should say, into his spinal column. And a lot of it had melted into his meat of his back and kind of fused into the vertebrae. So there's not much of operation that they could have done to his back. So he had to live with that all his life from World War II in Korea. And he kind of told me that because he told me pretty much horror stories as I grew up, the things that he had to suffer through. And I respected the ever living hell out of that man. Things that he went through, I heard him crying at night, waking up, just the PTSD from everything he had to go through. And that's why when my mom was disrespecting him, sitting in here saying he was a bad man and saying, that's why I literally took everything for me not to want to hurt her. Because everything that man's been through, everything that man's done for this country, everything that man's done for us, and her to sit in here and boldly disrespect him, just trying to get to me, that was the lowest she could have gone. But I'm over that because it's like she didn't win that day. She didn't get to me. I just told her to get out of the living room and not to talk to me, and I got over it. But the thing of the matter is I was trying to get her to get the help. And it wasn't because I was, like I said, I wasn't trying to hurt her. I wasn't. It's because I'm trying to see if there's anything, like I said before, to help myself, to help my future grandkids, to help my sons. Because this is something that could even affect my sons more greater because we don't have many boys in our family. We have less boys in our family than we do girls. We only have two boys in the first generations of the grandchildren, which that's it. The one of my cousins passed away because he had AIDS, and that was a sadness to all of us. We greatly miss him. And then we only have two boys out of the first generation. Out of the next generation, there's my two sons, and then from my cousin, he's got, I think, one son. I'm not sure how many sons he has, but I know for sure he has one. And then I don't know if there's any, I think there might be three, maybe four out of the second generation. But like I said, I only have interactions with two in the first generation, and then out of the second generation, I don't respond to anybody else due to Karen. Um, I'm only having reactions with my dad's side of the family right now. Because they're the only ones that seems to be really cool right now, and seems to be understanding, and they're not about drama, luckily. And I'm not about that lifestyle. It's like I'm trying to cut my life free of that. I'm not about the drama. I'm trying to tell stories because I'm trying to be proactive about health awareness and try to tell people, talking about it, being proactive about it, treating it, and being aware of it. There's nothing wrong about it. I know it's a scary situation, and when it's happening to yourself, it is scary. Like me, I'm having a lot of health issues, like my heart, for instance. I'm going to have to go to cardio. And I'm very scared. And I've already told my family I'm not getting heart surgery because that right there is already going to be the first downfall of it going downhill, because that's roughly right when Karen had her open heart surgery. It was right around her 40s. I'm not having heart surgery because I'm already fearful. They told me I'm not going to lose my mind. I'm like, no, I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen. Um, so if all fails, I'm just medicate me. Um, Nextly, I need to start getting colon issues checked because I'm starting to have more and more issues with that. So I might have took after my grandmother more than I wanted. So that's really great. So yeah. So yeah, my mom playing witchy woo, thinking she's putting stuff on other people. She might have hit me with it instead. So yeah, be careful what you wish for. You might have killed your daughter instead, stupid. Um, which I don't really care if she did or not. I would rather it happen to me than my family. So I would rather bad
You
things
need
happen
to
to me.
leave. You need to leave so you can see the grandchildren.
No, it's fine. I would rather it happen to me than y'all. Okay? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, and I would rather it be me than y'all. Okay? Because if y'all go, then there won't be no grandchildren at all.
But you won't get to see them.
I understand that, but
Yeah,
I'll see them in spirit, okay?
yeah, I need to be
No,
talking like
you
that.
won't get to hold them or anything.
I'll hold them in spirit. if anything happens, so don't worry about that. I'll try my best to be here, but like I said, push comes to shove, y'all. I'm good with it either or, okay? I would rather it happen to me. I don't want nothing bad happening to y'all, okay? But I know that sounds weird me talking like that, guys, but I've had some really bad threats being said. And I believe in a spiritual aspect. I believe in an energy, and she's put some bad energy and some bad stuff out there, and you guys got to understand the way that I believe, and I would protect my family with my last dying breath, and that goes even for my daughter-in-law, my sons, my husband. I'm not going to let nothing happen to my family. So you guys have to understand, with all respect, you would do anything to keep your family safe, and I hope anybody would do that with all respect. And no matter what you believe in, you need to do that with your heart, full intention, if you love anybody in your life. And it's not that I'm trying to make anybody, like I said, I don't want nobody attacking her, but it's just like she should know full and well intent. If you go into that with the intention that you have, then you should be full aware to deal with repercussion that it could easily backfire and hit somebody else. So be prepared to deal with repercussions, because it's full and well going to hit, you know? So she should have known that, because it's one thing she was taught by her own dad. It's supposedly the man that she supposedly loved and respected and disrespected at the same time. But anyway, um, but the whole thing about accountability, and the reason why I apologized, because I did go off very bad earlier, and I'm being more calm about it now. And I'm not being disrespectful, guys. I'm explaining it in a different light, and I'm not bad mouthing. And the whole reason why I did want her tested is because if there was a way that they could help her, and supposedly in a better light, get her in a better, safer mental state to help her understand, and get it to where the misunderstandings would stop. Because it's like I would try to explain something to her, and then for some odd reason what I said would get so twisted and misconstrued. I don't know how it would get twisted and misconstrued so easily. And I would say it as plain as English, as plain as day, and it's like I might have been speaking Bulgarian. And I'm like, okay. And it's not that I'm making fun. It's that I'm being that serious. That she would misunderstand me and misinterpret me completely. Like I said, I suggested her going into the senior citizen home, and this was about 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. And at that time, she thought I was talking about the nursing home, because her first doctor, Rosemary, and I called her Rosemary Jalapeno at that time, which I was referring to her ex friend. But she, about almost 8 to 9 years ago, had made the suggestion for her to go in a senior home, because at that time, Karen was still trying to control me. She was trying to manipulate my home. She would not let me set boundaries even then. At that time, had to lock me and my family up in our bedroom in the double wide. I was calling Rosemary. I was having a nervous breakdown. I was like, look, you guys got to figure out something with Karen. This is getting a bit much. She was actually having violent disorders then. I mean, I'm manic, but she was having a manic violent disorder then. And it's not that I'm trying to paint her as a bad person. She's not a bad person, I don't think, in general. It's just because of the mental disorder she has, it turns her into a bad person. And she doesn't understand. She can become very violently not right, and that's where I become very fearful, because she gets very, 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 very manic. She gets very, very, very manipulative. She becomes very, very, very liarsome. I mean, she sat here one day and lied very boldly. We have never put our hands on her. I Last time I think I've actually hit her was when I was a teenager. Last time I've actually hit her. I was about 18 the last time I hit her, because I got tired of her punching me. I got tired of her like punching me in the face, slapping me in the face, pulling my hair. She never corrected me correctly. Like spanking me on the butt, okay, fine. Spank me on the ass all you want. You punch me or slap me in the face, we're brawling. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be my grandpa, you could be my grandma, you could be my auntie, you could be the next door neighbor. We are going to be in the street fighting like goddamn dogs. I don't give a fuck who you are. You understand me? You touch my face, you're dead meat. You understand me? You touch my throat, you touch my face, you touch my titties, you touch my, anything up, you're dead. That's fair rights, okay? That's not correcting me. That's abuse. Okay, if you don't understand correction and abuse, then your ass needs to get taught right, and that's when I'm fighting back. Okay, you pull my hair, bitch. We brawling. You don't touch my fucking mane, whore or cock smear. I don't give a fuck who you is. You touch my hair, that's brawling rights. You don't touch my motherfucking mane. That's Native American rights. You don't touch my fucking hair. I don't give a fuck who you is. It's like if I'm walking away, let me walk away. Let me go cool the fuck off. And then we sit down and cool off. Or you sit there and, you go follow me and you sit down and talk to me. Or like my grandpa always said, you cool the hell off and then you sit there and then you talk about the situation when you've had time to reserve yourself so you don't do something you're gonna regret, because that's when abuse comes into the whole ordeal. That's why my grandpa always got on to her when she corrected me, because she did not know how to correct me as a parent. Because he always said, be a parent to her, Karen. You're not parenting her, Karen. And as I told him, he used to get so mad when we would get in fights. I said, Grandpa, if she doesn't know how to be a parent to me, I'm going to whoop her ass. I said, I'm not trying to stress you out. I'm not trying to put you in the hospital, but I ain't taking it. He goes, Tab, I'm not mad at you. And he's like, I understand why you're fighting back. He goes, I'm not upset with you. He goes, I just don't like seeing it. He goes, I understand why you're tearing into her. He goes, I don't blame you. Because he goes, she's not treating you like a daughter. He goes, I absolutely do not blame you. He goes, she has no right punching you or slapping you in the face. He goes, you absolutely have every right to lose it. And he would get in between us. He's like, you're not correcting her until you do it right. He goes, are you going to spank her or are you going to beat her? He goes, if you're not spanking her, you're not touching her. And she would get pissed. And that's when my grandpa even told me, he goes, anytime you want, you have a home here. You don't have to live with her. And he got to the point he even told me he would adopt me. I should have just, it's pretty bad that your own grandparents said they would adopt you from your own parents. Because deep down, he even knew that she wasn't in the right place, even at that time. That he was trying to step in and help me out. And it's pretty bad. I lived with him more than I lived with her. Because it's like I had a better chance at living a better life with my grandparents than I did with her. Even though I missed her, I loved her, I wanted her to be there for me. I wanted to share memories with my mom. I wanted to spend time with my mom. I mean, I wanted her to read me bedtime stories. I wanted her to take me to the park. I wanted to go to movies with her. I wanted to play with her, board games. I mean, we did do things like that on occasion, but then she'd get annoyed and wanted to go do her own stuff with her stupid fucking friends. Go to the bar. And it's like you get annoyed. It's like you're supposed to be number one to your mom. You're brought into this world, and that's what a lot of parents, this is why I get mad. And this is why I tell accountability. If you're going to bring a child into this world, make sure you're ready to be a parent. Make sure you're ready for that responsibility, that accountability, because that means you're going to have to give up, doing a lot of things in your life. You're going to have to give up a lot of time with your friends. That means you're going to have to give up partying. You're going to have to give up, date nights a lot, because you're going to have to spend a lot of time with baby and, young child. And I actually take my kids everywhere. I feel awkward. And they even tell me, Mom, go hang out with Dad alone. I'm like, no, I want y'all with me, because I ain't going to have much time with y'all once y'all get to a certain age. Because y'all are going to do y'all. And they tell me all the time to go do stuff with their dad. And I'm like, no, I want y'all with me. Because I've lost so much time with them. Because of all the fighting, all the bickering. And everyone thinks I'm crazy because I like taking my kids everywhere with me. And it's not because I don't trust them. I trust them home alone a lot. I have good kids. My youngest is tripping out because Anubis is outside. My chocolate Burmese, my beautiful baby. But I have relatively, there's my baby. There's my Anubis. My Burmese, my old man. He's the oldest cat in the house. He's 16. Yep, he's the oldest right now. My baby.
I love you.
DJ Manubis. He's gonna go chase Alex.
Don't chase me.
He's probably wanting the food. But my thing is, I mean, I want to make as much time with my kids as I can because life is short and I love my kids. And a lot of the time was taken away because we all, like I said, went into our separate rooms when fights got us started. We were all scarred and we spent a lot of time away from each other. And the kids could tell you, we all separated like cockroaches when light came on. Because when the fight started, it's like we weren't trying to separate from one another, but we all had to run into our designated rooms to escape from her. Because we didn't want to hear it. We didn't want to hear the fighting. We would all go in our room and cover our heads with pillows and try to escape from her. And it's not that, like I said, I'm not trying to paint her as a villain. It's just because she did not have the right mental capabilities. And honestly, when I'm sitting there seeing the things that she put on the group, it's like she was in an apartment, but then she wasn't. I'm sitting here just like, did she get evicted out of the apartment because she couldn't manage to pay her bills? Because I know she couldn't pay him here. So I'm like, she's unaccountable for paying her stuff because she couldn't pay him here at all because she would get loans, she couldn't pay them, and then she was bouncing from bank to bank to bank to bank. She was creating bills that she couldn't handle, and then she's buying stuff that she unnecessarily doesn't need. And I'm sitting here like, people are not helping her and making adult responsibility suggestions to her. They're not paying attention to things that she's saying because I read all the posts that she put and they're not putting 2 plus 2 together and they're not seeing that she's making bad, poor decision making. I mean, she got mad at me because I was actually sitting there, you don't need to buy that. And people are like, well, that's not your choice. I'm like, when she's living out on the streets, y'all gonna sit there and be like, that wasn't my choice. I was trying to keep her from being a bum. That's being a good daughter. That's being a loving daughter. You know, telling her you don't need to buy that. You need food in your stomach. You need to save your money. If you want to get an apartment, save your money, quit buying stupid tarot decks because you can't afford it. You know, quit spending money on a bunch of bullshit that you don't need. If you can't afford it, be smart, save your money, get an actual job that can pay you to get you an apartment and be a responsible freaking adult. That's her problem. She can never be a responsible adult. She's never been a responsible adult. Even when we were out living on our own, she was only maybe out to live on her own, maybe for 5 freaking months, and then we had to move back in with my grandparents, and that's when we were living in San Angelo. We were only out and we got evicted, and the landlord took almost damn near everything that she had. She had a nice record system, which got taken away. So that was this not the first time she got evicted from me. She got evicted when she was in her 20s. And yeah, only reason why she didn't get evicted before is because when we were living out on our own is because I was helping pay some of the bills, my husband was paying some of the bills. We were all making decent money, so that was 3 of us, 4 of us that was working to put yeah, that's why they were living good on their own and then had my grandmother living in with them. So it's not that I'm trying to shame or bash. It's called accountability, responsibility, timing, and trying to get help. And this is where I worry. And people are saying that I'm a bad person because I'm concerned. And I'm still the bad person. I'm still concerned about her, but yet I'm the bad person. I beg to see where I'm the bad person when I'm still worried about her. Yet she hates me. She wishes for all my downfall. She wants me to get my comeuppance really bad. But I'm still worried about her. I'm worried about her being on the street and I'm concerned about her, but yet I'm the bad guy. I don't see the logic in that. I'm upset with her because how she's acting. I'm hurt because of the behavior because still after all this time, I'm the one that's worried. I'm hurt because I'll never get no resolution. I'll never I'll never get nothing out of this. I've never had a parent. I had my dad taken away from me, no thanks to her. She took my dad away from me. She took me from my dad, let me rephrase that. She never let him see me. And then he washed his hands of me because of her. And then I never got to know my dad's people. I'm barely starting to get to know them now based on my own choice. And some of them probably think I'm pretty weird based on my own beliefs. So I'm going to have to slowly explain it to them because it's a new age belief that what I have going. So it's not very chosen, picked. um
Until
It's my turn.
so
If snooze, you lose. Like that says.
news.
so I might not have much family, but what I have, but that's fine.
You have me.
Yes, I got you and the boys and my hubby.
News.
Um and it's painful that, she went to that extent to ruin everything for me, but it's fine. I didn't have much family anyway. I'm a black sheep. I prefer to have a low profile anyway. I don't get along with too many people because I have a low tolerance for bullshit, and I've really started to distance myself more and more away from people because I've changed a lot. I see things that I don't like, and I just move away from people like my ex-best friend. I started noticing her behavior getting more glitchy, and instead of her coming and talking to me about certain things and her lying to me about a lot of things, I have problems with liars. I really do. And it's like, if you're going to do something for real and if you're acting extremely suspicious and you think I can't pick up on certain things, you're dead wrong. And I've mentioned it before, and I'm not going to sit there and spill the tea right then and there and be like, oh, I know you're lying and blah, 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 blah. If someone doesn't want to tell me their truth and be honest from the get go, I'm not going to sit there and be like yelling at them and, you know, make them tell me what's up. I'm just going to walk away from it and be like, you know what? I'm done with you. I'm through. I give this person multiple chances, and this was the last time they burned me. So I was like, I didn't see that I had done anything wrong. Now, if Karen went and said something to her and she didn't tell me about it, that's her damn fault. She should have came and say, "Hey, guess what? Karen's talking a lot of shit. I don't approve it. She's being highly negative. I'm walking away. She's saying a whole bunch of da, 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 da." She should have came and told me. That was her damn fault. She should have communicated with me. Lack of communication is where you screw up friendships. It's where you screw up any relationship. You can't have no good relationship without good communication. And I take accountability for everything. I mean, I've worked on my negativity. I've worked on my behavior. I've worked on my accountability. I take blame for everything. I take blame for even things I didn't even really do.
Yeah,
But
you shouldn't.
um it's to keep shit at bay because I'm tired of negativity. I'm tired of the blame game. I'm tired of unnecessary he said, she said, blah de blah de blah de blah. I'm not about that no more. I literally want a peaceful existence. And that's why I try to tell people, if there's a way and a solution to find peace. Can you go ahead and hand your sister that, baby?
I was gonna watch some TV since brother's taking the TV from me.
He's got to help me out in a minute. Ooh, excuse me. Um, Try to find a solution in everything. And if y'all guys can get around something, try to get around it as soon as you can. And there's a thing where you blame people for,
What?
something, and then,
No.
blaming them for making you do something.
Well, I'm eating.
Someone can't make you do something, okay? You do what you do on your own free will, okay? Because they're not holding a knife to you, they're not holding a gun to you, they're not, you do what you do on your own free will. I mean, I understand peer pressure, but you do it on your own because you're wanting to look cool, or you're wanting a certain reputation. Hey, quit being a ganja cat. Thank you.
No ganja.
That's mommy's ganja.
No weed.
My cat's trying to get into my CBD and my weed.
Tyrone.
My weed! But
Not my weed.
I'm gonna let y'all go before this turns into an hour-long video so I can eat and take my anxiety medicine before I start having a meltdown. I love you guys, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Alright? Bye.
Well, give me a minute.